Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. We have a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. We're seeing some significant developments in the Middle East, particularly with regards to Iran and its nuclear program. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet with President Donald Trump on Tuesday, and one of the top items on their agenda will be Iran's nuclear ambitions. Netanyahu has stated that he plans to press Trump to keep a close watch on Iran's nuclear program, citing concerns that Tehran could still try to rebuild its capabilities despite recent setbacks. The situation is complex, with both the US and Israel having launched attacks on Iran in recent months. The Islamic Republic has retaliated, and the conflict has had significant implications for global energy markets, particularly with regards to the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. has remained largely quiet about its pause on strikes against Iran over the weekend, but it's clear that diplomatic efforts are underway to try to find a resolution. Netanyahu has said that while he believes the U.S. and Israel have set back Iran's nuclear capabilities by several years, he cautions that Tehran could still try to restore what has been destroyed. Trump, meanwhile, has stated his preference for a diplomatic solution, but has also made it clear that all options remain on the table if Iran continues to engage in terrorist activities or refuses to negotiate as we move forward. It's essential to consider multiple perspectives and keep a close eye on developments in the region. We'll continue to follow this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into the complex and evolving situation in the Middle East, where tensions between Iran and the United States have been escalating. Recently, there's been a pause in attacks from both sides, with the U.S. halting its strikes after 13 successive nights of air raids. According to sources, this decision was made due to concerns about expanding the conflict, depleting defense stockpiles, and potentially alienating Middle East Gulf allies. Iran, on the other hand, has stated that it will halt its own attacks as long as the U.S. maintains its pause. But there's skepticism about the sincerity of this pause. A senior Iranian source conveyed that the prevailing view in Tehran is that the pause is tactical rather than genuine. This skepticism is fueled by the belief that the U.S. might be using this time to regroup and reassess its strategy before potentially resuming attacks. Meanwhile, the conflict has begun to affect other regions, with Iran's Houthi allies launching strikes against Saudi Arabia, targeting oil facilities in the cities of Jizan and Yanbu. These attacks have raised concerns about the potential disruption of global energy supplies and the impact on the already volatile Middle East. The situation is further complicated by reports that Russia may be providing satellite intelligence to Iran, enabling it to direct strikes in the region. It's essential to approach this story with a nuanced perspective, recognizing the complex web of alliances, interests, and historical grievances at play. As the situation continues to unfold, it's crucial to consider multiple sources and viewpoints to gain a deeper understanding of the evolving landscape. The humanitarian implications of this conflict cannot be overstated, with the potential for widespread suffering and destabilization in the region. It's imperative that all parties involved prioritize diplomatic efforts and work towards a peaceful resolution, acknowledging the intricate and interconnected nature of global politics and economies. Welcome back to Concrete Block today. We've been exploring the fascinating world of technology and energy, and now it's time for our closing segment. As we dive into the latest developments, you might be wondering how tech giants are tackling the ever-increasing demand for power. Well, it turns out that some of the biggest players in the industry have set their sights on nuclear energy. Companies like Microsoft, Meta, Google, and Amazon are investing heavily in nuclear power, particularly in small modular reactors. These compact designs promise to be faster and cheaper than traditional plants, but critics argue that they are still years away from producing a significant amount of electricity. Despite these concerns, the tech industry's involvement has made nuclear energy bankable again, with real money and political will behind it. One notable example is Microsoft's deal to restart the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant, which is expected to come back online in just a few years. This move has sparked debate among experts, with some hailing it as a game-changer for the industry and others expressing skepticism about the timelines and costs involved. As the world grapples with the challenges of climate change and energy demand, the intersection of nuclear power and artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly important. The growth curves for AI and nuclear power are now moving in tandem, with countries and companies racing to develop reliable, carbon-free electricity to fuel their computing needs. While it is unclear whether these ambitious plans will come to fruition on schedule, one thing is certain: the tech industry's investment in nuclear energy has changed the game. Big tech has become nuclear power's most important backer, and whichever country or company figures out how to pair AI computing power with reliable, carbon-free electricity fastest may end up deciding not just what fuel wins the energy race, but what actors win the AI race too. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.